Hey guys, Cheyanne here. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. And this is the final series of the main story of Blood Fusion. This is the finale of the original Wolf Squad. Basically, this is like 19 years later of the Wolf Squad origins and stuff. So, hopefully, you guys will see this is really good. So, here we go. Blood Fusion 7, the finale. Prologue. It's been 19 since my brother and I were reunited and my father came back to life too. And now my daughter and son are old enough to be their own kind. My own son, their James, is a handsome, brave, strong young man like his parents. My daughter, the top scientist, thanks to Haley. She's getting married from a gunnery sergeant in the Wolf Squad. Son of Sergeant William. Name is Darrell Williams. He's a little bit, let's just say, goth person. But he loved my daughter every way. When DJ met him, he didn't like him at first, but then we got used to him. Around after that, he grew up around my kids, so I guess my husband kind of liked him now, but at first. He started to date my daughter. DJ was kind of worried, though, thinking, what would happen if something goes wrong, and it's all my father and my kids, but my daughter is a beautiful woman now. But DJ thinks he's still a little girl to protect. And on the other hand, my son, James, is a soldier, is now as the Wolf Squad Sergeant Major in the 70th Platoon. Even though Earth doesn't need a prince, the U.S. Army. But anyway, both of us are royals. My kids are royals, it's the throne. But they will protect Earth, and I'm going to help Haley do around it too. Helping protect her from other enemies. Or in or out of Earth. Anyway, Haley's kids, Oakley and Hunter, are the second and third commander of the Wolf Squad. And Kato is the leader of the next generation of Wolf Squad soldiers. Oh, and Dylan and Vanna's son, Dump Price Jr., is a scientist like my daughter and Haley too. And a couple years ago, me and the rest of us retired the rest of our lives with our wolf DNA antennas still. We have to call it sometimes to do a job again. Call the wild, I should say. At least there's no more Quentin Squad. Or neither the Neo either. Good thing it was peaceful at the time. Marriage was going on. Something went wrong. I felt some strange vibes. But it was something a lot last log. But my children still have my logs for the legacy of the Wolf Squad. And of Aurora and all the humanity. Chapter 1. Amy's big day and Carbo's injuries. My daughter and I were waiting in the room, putting on her dress. James and Kato walked in. Well, it's your big day, sis. Ready? James said. My daughter nodded in agreement. DJ knocked and opened the door. They're ready. Inside the church, the people with the cathedral, Darrell was waiting for her on the aisle. The organ began to play. Everybody stood up. DJ walked out of my daughter in the aisle and looked close to Darrell, looking nervous, twitching his lips. He reached out to hold my hand, daughter. The priest said, "Will you let this man down in marriage?" He asked. "I do," DJ said, tears rolling down his face. He sat back down with me and James next to felt strange, like something was going to happen. I didn't know what, but it was all until it was all over. Dear beloved, we are gathered here today but bound to the matrimony of Darrell Williams, Nathan Williams, and Naaman Lord Nicorette Davies. Now would you please hold each other's hands? The priest asked. So they both each other's hands. Vows. Darrell, your vows. Do you take Amy to be your living wedded wife? The priest said. I do. And my vow is, I'll protect her with my life, even if the line is in danger. Darrell said. And do you, Amy, take Darrell as a lawful wedded husband, and the vow? The priest said, and Amy said, I do. I will love you to the end of time, and I'll be a great wife and a great mother to our children. Amy said, Then I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Darrell and Amy passionately kissed, and everyone clapped and cheered. Some of Darrell's platoon men were there. Private Michael Kelly, Captain Neil Lasarvi, and Lieutenant Victor Smalls. Kelly was crying, as well as he saluting him, with a firm expression on his face. Sarvi was a little bit mixed of both. After it was over, me and my kids were a crew walking out of the church. I didn't know there was a little bit of arugula around, but there was a very feral one who looked very angry and killed the leader. But I didn't know at the time there was a bat leading by someone else. Anyway, one of them was on the rooftop with a sniper. He put sniper. His head pointed down at me. Then the Arugama pulled the trigger. It hit me right on the left shoulder. Everyone screamed and scattered and fell as I fell down. Blood was coming out of my body. Haley grabbed me before I fell, and she looked up the roof. The Arugama shot me, was smiling his slowly grazed teeth that were showing. Then Haley pulled the trigger of her pistol and shot the Arugama straight between the eyes. Blood spattered everywhere. He was knocked down to the top of the roof into the ground. Haley ran back to me. Kerber, hang in there, okay? Help is on the way. She held my shoulder from keeping me from bleeding. The sirens were echoing through the city. Then everything went black. The hospital. DJ, Dishon, Zach, Haley, Gerald rushed me to the hospital. Haley was holding my shoulder in a sheet, holding the bleeding in me. Doctors and nurses rushed past Haley. What happened? The doctor asked. Bullet wound in the chest. Her shoulder. She's bleeding out, Haley said. In a panic. Prep the OR now, the doctor said. Haley, stay calm. We can do this. We got this. The doctor continued. Haley sighed and said, I hope you're right. As the doctor left, prepped my operation surgery. Zach and DJ came up to Haley. She couldn't hold it anymore. She burst into tears. As the doctors took hours for me to put the bullet safely out. They found it, started removing it. Meanwhile, outside in the waiting room, Haley was pacing back and forth. And so was DJ. Dishon looked at them. Guys, he said. She's our leader. She definitely knows she's going to be fine. Dishon said nervously. Haley glared at me and then said, Well, I don't think so. So how is she going to be more if she's injured? Do you think that's okay? She shouted. Then the doctor said, Surgery came out of the room and said, Doc, is she? The doctor smiled. Her surgery was a success. The bullet was taken out. She's in recovering. Haley sighed in relief. In a month and a half, she'll be able to fight again. The doctor said. Haley nodded. I was out cold, but I woke up seeing my friends. I smiled and went home for 3 days. I had no rules, no picking up stuff, and I had to wear a cast for about a month. But I didn't know my friends were the last Arugamas. I won't see the last Arugamas and other strange characters in the future. Chapter 2. James and Amy's first mission. After 5 weeks I was home. I was still on bed rest. I hated it. And then I had to be in the house the whole time. My daughter walked in my room, sitting up. Hey, Ma. Here's some soup. Doctor said you need it. Haley said, Amy Smith said with a smile. Oh, did Haley put healing medicine in again? I asked. How'd you know? She asked. I have this kind of food 5 weeks. I could taste it. I could tell when it's still in there. I said with a smile. You know, Ma, she's just trying to do for you to heal quicker. To get back on her feet, she said. I smiled. And chuckled. Amy placed the tray beside me. Then the wolf squad alarm went off. And there was something wrong. Then a screen popped out of the wall, and Haley was on the screen. Amy, it's time. Time to shine. Haley said. Amy nodded and looked. Then the item came out of the wall. It was Amy's first morphing gear. Amy put the gear on the wrist and smiled. Then she put out her suit. Shouted, Morphin suit beta activate! Amy shouted and became a black silhouette. And the suit piece by piece became in. Her color was gold, and as part of it silver stripes. Then under her wrist was a watch to communicate. Go, I said. My daughter and I ran out the door. My Haley was still in the monitor. You worried? She asked me. A little, I responded. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on her. Haley said. Then the monitor went black. Then it went back into the fall. I felt the sharp pain on my shoulder, where they hit the bullet. I moaned. I looked over. My muscles were acting strangely. More veins were moving around. Not again. I groaned. My claws suddenly burst out of my clothing. Meanwhile, in the downtown district, Amy, watch out! Dishon shouted. Amy looked ahead and I saw a huge boulder coming out of the sky. And she jumped over the boulder and started morphing into her wolf body. became canine. You! Oh, damn. Her wolf body became canine. Her fur was the color mixed. My silver on top and her gad's gold on bottom. Oh, damn! Her jaw opened, snagged Ruguma's head, and ripped it off. James did the same thing. He was saving a car after he was quickly morphed into his wolf. Same color but reversed. Gold on top, silver on the bottom. He was fighting a creature. It was a 6-armed robot. Bear robot. Tearing out with his teeth. Pulling out the motherboard circuits. Were flying everywhere. Cheyanne and Haley were fighting some dimensional creatures called screech bats. They used very high-pitched screech that can make your ears bleed. Or worse, deaf. Back at the house, I was turning into something and it wasn't my DNA suit. But it felt primal. Though it was my original wolf self, Roy itself, it was dormant for so long. It had to break out of its shell. Spikes began to grow out of the back. Fur turned shiny, steel-like glass. The sun. My teeth became sharp. Like 2 teeth became sharp and saber. And my muscles burst out of my ear. My muscles burst. Out of my ears. My word went to a huge point. Tail brushed out of my pants. I snarled and barked. I quickly opened my eyes. They were reddish orange. I howled. Then I looked around and burst out the window glass. Glass was everywhere. I ran out to the city. Back in the town, Haley and Dishon had finished up shooting the screech bats, shooting them down with the wolf squad against 16s. With rapid fire caliber. Blood spattered everywhere. It's a dish on Haley's face. Well, that was over. Haley said. Let's get back to the house, James said. Then they heard her rumbling through sound to the ground. Haley Governor saw me and my wolf form, strange wolf form, and fell and said wild. Grah! I roared. Haley pointed the gun and realized it was me. She saw the wound. Her eyes went wide. Then she put the gun down. She grabbed me from the sleep dart pistol. Then she triggered and hit me. I flew back. I slowly transformed back. Showing my veins started to turn back to human. My eyes went from red to hazel. My body became wolf, from human to wolf to human. My skin reverted back from silver to pale pink. Teeth turned back to normal. I was breathing heavily. I had my eyes closed. Haley fell asleep. Haley ran to me and tried to wake me up. We gotta get her back to Rocky now, Amy yelled. Haley nodded. Then DJ picked me up and randomly ran to the lab. We knew something was wrong. Chapter 3. The aura and Spike both revealed. Haley laid me down the medical bed, and then Draki scanned my entire body for illness. There's nothing wrong with her, Draki said. Then tell me, why did she turn that creature I saw? Haley responded. It's a Royan Prime evolution, a Royan Spike Wolf. She's transforming into that because there's more power on the Royans when they do reach their age 30s. It does because when they are coming age of wisdom, or more mana. Mana means magic limit. Anyway, she's okay. Just give her some time to heal, rest, Draki said. Haley nodded. Draki walked away. Haley walked to me and held my hand. You're going to be okay, Carbro. I'll make sure of it. It's painful, but you get through it. I know this for a fact. Haley said, all choked up. She was like to cry, but Haley looked at her hands. It was going to happen to me, too. She thought. I'm almost her age, she said with worry. She looked around, dropped the dish on, and walked into the room. She didn't hear them. Haley? Ah! She screeched, jumping her hand over her heart. Oh, don't do that. She yelled. What's wrong? Dishon asked. Nothing. It's nothing, Haley said. Is she okay? Gerald asked. Yeah, it's just new wolf form, though, Haley said. New form, both Gerald and Dishon said, looking at each other. Then looked around Haley. Haley smiled. Anyway, what did you find in the anime screech bats and appearing in our world? Haley asked. No, but there's weird, though. We didn't have any records of these things on Earth. Like, there's unknown. But for the most part, the alarm went off. Then the alarm went off and the symbols went off the soldiers in the uniform. Commander, Haley, those things are back, he shouted. Haley quickly gave down her 9mm Colt pistol. Drocky, watch over Carbo. I'll be right back, Haley ordered. Then she put the gun in her holster and walked out the door. Drocky looked at me and said, hang in there, Carbo. In the city, James Napier fighting screech bats. Then James shot one down. Green ooze came out of it, squirted all over his face. He actually got some in his mouth. He spit it out. It was like slime. His uniform was his Wolf Squad uniform was all slimy and sticky. Look around to see what was more of them. Sis, think that's not it. They're all gone. The portal's open and more screech bats come out again. And then more screech bats came out of the portal. Oh, not again! She shouted, pointing at the gun coming from. Meanwhile, at the old abandoned building, a man looked at a scientist with a robotic eye and the robotic arm using a computer. Then he had a screen of a strange writing in the code. And he smirked, with glasses showing, and said, soon I will have the whole city in my hands, and I'll have my own legion of monsters to help me with control the world. Stinky. Where's the world? Stinky, you're up. Destroy the little squad, the man said. Another man stood up, a homeless man. A torn-up trench coat, a battered fedora. His face was covered in like garbage, mud. He smiled. His horrible, crooked yellow teeth, saliva, was like slime, dripping down his face. His odor was horrible. Smelled like sulfur and rotting flesh. With pleasure, Dr. Red-Eye, the man said. Then I walked at the door. At Rocky's lab. I woke up. What happened? I said, putting my hand on my head and rubbed it. Good, you're awake, Drocky said. I smiled and went off the scanning table. What's been going on since I was locked out, I said. For an hour, and everyone's fighting these strange creatures from another dimension. If you want to, I can think your injuries, or I think you're healed thanks to Haley and Drip myself. Drocky said. Yeah, I think so. Where's my morphing dad chip? I asked. Over there, Drocky said, pushing a button. My morphing dad chip appeared out of the wall. I put my watch on. I left Richard shouted. Morphosuit Silver Alpha, activate! My entire body became a black silhouette, and piece by piece my suit came into place. And my transformation was complete. My suit was there. Well, I'm off to save New York again, Drocky. I'll be right out back, I said, running out the door. Okay. How's that, everybody? I think that was a good day to stop on. So, hopefully I will see you guys all again later. So, thanks for watching, and love you guys, and hopefully I will see you guys all again later. Peace out. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like more, leave down in the description in the comments what you think about it. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it a ton. And I hope you'll be able to see us all in another brand new episode of both either book or a vlog. So, yeah. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.